So today, it's expansion time. Now, I must confess, I spent a couple of hours off camera doing some contracts, and so we're up to 250k, which is burning a very, very big hole in my pocket. Today, the goal is land, equipment, and growth. It's time to start our empire. It's time to stop working for other people and start working for ourselves. Yeah, I did a good 2 or 3 months of hard contracts, and some of those contracts were harvesting, so it led to a little bit of more extra income. So it's been good. So we've been doing kind of 50, 60, 70k a month. I've also got some admin jobs to get done. Anyone who's been following along has known we've got a bit of a routing system problem in our kind of auto route. We've had traffic going down two-way paths and having head-on collisions. So I'm going to have to whip around the map and design a one-way system. And so I'm going to do that first, because while I'm doing that, I can be thinking about what land I want to buy and how to expand. I also need to tidy up the lay-by. This greenhouse has been a bit of a disappointment, so I'm going to get rid of this and perhaps think about our greenhouse plans on another piece of land. And this lay-by is going to become a depot for fertiliser and herbicide and fuel and equipment repairs maybe. It's perfectly placed so vehicles can come down the road, pull in, grab whatever they need or do whatever they need to do, and then come out and carry on down that road or turn around and come back up. So that's going to be useful. Of course, I'll continue doing contracts in the background, but I'll skip through those or time-lapse them or something because they're not interesting to you guys anymore. You've seen it all before. So lots to do, and so let's crack on. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is think about the one-way system. Oh, by the way, I added a new mod as well. I got a mod called Park or something like that, which basically enables me to ignore a vehicle from the tab sequence. It was bugging me, and I can imagine it was bugging you all as well. So this vehicle I very rarely use. And so every time I was switching vehicles, I used to have to tab through it, which was really annoying. But I've put it into park mode now, which means that it doesn't appear in the tab list. And I can obviously take it out of park mode as well. So that's quite handy. So any vehicles I know I just want to use temporarily and not all of the time, I can just park and they won't kind of keep flicking around. Yeah, I think it's going to take me a good 10-15 minutes of my real life to do the auto route changes. So I'll crack on with that, and then I'll check in with you once I've done that for a little update and some thinking about what land we want to buy. We now have a rudimentary one-way system. I'm not sure it's going to stand the test of time until the end of the game, but I think we're pretty organised. So what we've got is kind of a trunk road system. So these main north-south roads are two-way. That's two-way. This trunk road here is only eastbound across there and up there. This is only northbound around that loop there. This road here is only westbound, and this road here is only eastbound. So I think in most circumstances we can get to all of the fields. There may be some fields which take a little bit longer to get to, but I would rather the AI spends an extra 2 minutes driving around a bit of a block rather than me having to kind of manually take over and intervene with traffic collisions all the time. So I think, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think we're pretty organised. I moved the field 42 entrance from this side here over to the main entrance area over here, just to save a little bit of transit time as vehicles go to that field. But I'm happy with this. So like I say, we might need to change things up a little bit. So now I've got one more little job to do before we start talking about farmland. I need to tidy up this lay-by. My goal with the lay-by is to make this as a kind of like a depot, if you like. So, for example, if I borrowed a vehicle for some fertiliser, I could just say, hey, go to the fertiliser place. Then I can just pick up some fertiliser and then send him off his way to do whatever jobs he needs to do. Or the same for herbicide, or the same for some seeds, I don't know, whatever else I need. I'll also turn this into like a fuel and repair station. I noticed this vehicle that I've been driving, the little buggy, is very low on fuel, so I need to figure out how to get some diesel or some gas or whatever it's called in this game as well at some point. So the lay-by is going to be a kind of a stopping off point. Our base of operations is still going to be this central area of the map. My issue with this area is that lots of these fields are fenced, which makes it a little bit more tricky for the AI workers to drive in and out, particularly as the size of the equipment gets bigger and bigger. I've tried, and I've read some forums, but you can't delete the fences without getting into like super mods and kind of hacking maps around and stuff. And I don't really want to do that on my first playthrough. So we're going to have to live with the fenced fields. That means that I'm not going to be able to use these for kind of deep, serious field work, I don't think. So my plan is as I buy these fields and expand around this kind of area of the map, I'll use all these fields for grass and for animals. So this could be a big cow field, that could be a sheep field, I don't know, all that sort of stuff. Because then the fact that they're fenced doesn't matter so much, and the fact that they're hard to get in and out with a gate doesn't matter so much, because presumably all I'll be doing is feeding the animals and then bringing back kind of their produce. So that should be quite straightforward. I was just distracted then because I noticed this guy driving up this road, and I don't know why. He should have just carried on down there and pulled in this way. But maybe I've screwed up something on this junction. I'll check that out in a second. So yeah, so grassland and animals around this area. And then I can expand outwards gradually as I get more cash to take over these fields and start doing the big kind of harvesting and crops. What I do know that I need, though, is I need space for factories and for production lines. And again, these being fenced in isn't really very useful. So these fields, I believe, are fenced, but they're just much bigger. So I might be able to make use of these, but they're still gated, though, which is an issue. What's 72? Yeah, 72 is still gated and fenced. Yeah, I'm a little bit undecided. What I need is a big, wide open area so I can start putting kind of, well, concrete down, so I can start building production lines and some kind of industrialization areas. So maybe that's not the play. I'm pretty sure 28 and 29, 17. 17's wide open, but I'm not going to be able to afford that for a good long time. Okay, so it doesn't really matter for now. So I know these grass, animals, etc. And I just need to figure out where to start putting kind of my big base of operations. Let me just check 32. So 32's got a fence down that side. I can't see a fence down this side, but there's lots of wooded area. What we might have to do is we might have to take this field and start clearing all these trees. I do want to do some forestry, some serious forestry with kind of machinery rather than just my chainsaw. So maybe that might be an idea. Where's the entrance to this field? Is it up here? No. I don't know if I can knock these hedgerows down or not and build my own kind of entrances to fields. I mean, it would be pretty useful if I could. It looks like field 72 entrance is way down at the bottom right of the entrance. Yeah, down here, look. So, yeah, no easy answer. Let me just finish the lay-by, and then I'll have a ponder and think of the best way to do it. I do need to check why this gentleman couldn't turn right at the end of the junction, which I thought he should have been able to do so. So this is an eastbound road, so he should have been able to go down these. Perhaps the fact that it's switched to two-way is what confused him at the end. So he can come down here, he can go across there, he can go up there. Maybe he couldn't get into the junction. I'm going to be redoing all this anyway, so let's just have a bit of a fresh start. I am planning on destroying my greenhouse. I'm a little bit disappointed with the greenhouse. Perhaps I just need to escalate the production a little bit more. Maybe it's designed to be done at scale rather than just one greenhouse. But this greenhouse has literally made me about £900 so far, which is obviously not going to fund my pension. Just going to move these vehicles. I'm hoping to do this quickly before it gets dark, because then I can finish all my jobs and then finish the day, and then I'll start tomorrow as a fresh day with lots of new contracts and to start buying land and start getting a little bit more organised. Although I know they're only worth £900, I don't want to waste this lettuce. So I'll just get this out of the way. I'm still pretty terrible at controlling equipment with a keyboard and mouse, but I'm hoping that I will gradually improve. Otherwise it's going to be a very long game. Let me just dump this here for now. Hopefully that won't upset any traffic. Right, so at the moment we have water, fertiliser and herbicide. Let's just get rid of this greenhouse so we can see what we're doing. Oh, I get some money back for it. 10,000. Okay. Right, so let's think about this. This is a good view to look at it with. So vehicles are going to pull in and they're going to grab what they need and pull out and continue that way or turn around and go back that way. So it should be nice and simple, really, he says. So let's draw the path first. We'll make it a one-way system just to save complexity later. That'll do up there for now. Right, so we need a way of going both directions. So we'll have that coming back to go there. And we'll have you going straight over there to go that way. So you can come through and you can go that way, or you can turn around and go back. That's fine. And over here you can pull straight in, or you can bust a U-turn and go that way. Okay, nice. I need to figure out how to get diesel. I'm just going to figure that out very quickly now, because that will affect where I put these items. Is it something that you buy from the shop? Let me check. Fuel. No fuel there. Gas. It's an American game. Maybe they call it gas. Sugarcane. Don't know how that comes up. So I know you can get fuel tanks because I've seen it. But even if you buy a fuel tank, presumably you need to put fuel in it somewhere. So it may be like fertiliser and herbicide where you just buy bags of it. Diesel. Oh God, how do you spell diesel? Diesel, is that right? Okay, I can't see anything there. Let me just have a quick look at the construction. Sheds, silos, constructables, containers, tools, farmhouses, factories, selling points. Okay, nothing's jumping out in the title system. So we might have to dig a little bit deeper. Okay, let's have a little deep. Not in fences. Won't be in lights. Others. Decorational, decorational, decorational. Okay, that looks like just decorations. That looks decorations. Not in animals. I can't imagine it would be in factories. It would be a weird thing to call it. Selling points. Well, that title suggests that's where you sell things, not where you buy things. Certainly won't be in greenhouses. Might be in cultivation. Generators. Nope. Okay. Sheds. A fuel shed. That doesn't really sound right. Silos. A fuel silo? I mean, does it... What's that? Crops. Crops, crops. I mean, these are just bigger. Oh my goodness. 1 million. Silo extensions. Nope. Constructibles. That looks like decorative stuff. Container. Okay. Okay. Small. Where was it? Small petrol tank. Okay. So a small petrol tank. That's kind of what. I mean, how big are they? They're not that big, are they? Okay, so that's fine. Large petrol tank is probably a bit too big. Large, and that's too big as well. Fertiliser, fertiliser. Okay, let's just get this medium one for now. How do I rotate it? There you go. Right, so, I mean, just kind of here is what I need, really, just so I can drive in. So what I'm hoping is that, therefore, I can just drive in and when I go to that question mark, I can buy diesel. Oh, I put that already too near the road. Big vehicles might not be able to get through there. Refill silo. Oh, there you go. Okay, so you just buy diesel. Fine. Okay, that's good. Can my tractor get past? That's the other question. So I'm pulling in here. I'm at the waypoint. I mean, it's fairly wide. I should be able to get through. I can always make this a little bit further out. Sure, it doesn't matter too much if my vehicles go up on the curb a little bit. Refuel. Okay, good. So let's call that fuel. So far, so good, guys. I'm like a professional. All right, now let's move this out of the way, and I'll move the fertilizer out of the way. What I want to do is I need the fertilizer and the herbicide to be able to be picked up, because I'll need to refuel these tanks occasionally. So I'll need to keep them moderately apart from one another. I need to figure out how to pick up that white stuff off the floor. That was a little accident I had with some fertilizer previously. I think it was fertilizer. I'm not sure if it was fertilizer or herbicide, to be honest. Oh no, this could be a problem. How am I going to get that? How much is inside it? Can I reset it? It's got 1400 litres. I don't really want to reset it. I may have to resort to the old bash to spin that around. While I was doing the remapping, I just turned off traffic. I must remember to turn it back on again. The traffic should be less of an issue now because my cars shouldn't be fighting it as much as it was before. Oh, look at me, professional. He says, Oh, let's get some lights on. Might be able to see what I'm doing. Ah, I saw it. Attach. Perfect. Okay, so we need to put this in a place where vehicles can refuel from it, but I also can get to the trailer to fill up, to pick it up, to go and take it to refuel it. I'm sure there's something I can do with silos, but I just couldn't figure out how to. I mean, obviously I can figure out how to get a silo and pay money to fill it up, much like the fuel I just did. But the issue with silos is that I couldn't see how to put surplus stuff back into it. So for example, if I do a herbicide contract and then have spare herbicide, I want to be able to put the herbicide back in, right? I think that's probably a bit too far away. I want to be able to put the herbicide back into the silo to reuse what I didn't use. And I didn't see a way how to do that, sadly. Let me just try that. Here. What is this? Is this fertilizer or herbicide? Yeah. Might be a little bit too close, but we'll give it a go. This one's called herbicide. Okay, last thing now, same thing with this box of fertilizer. And then that should be a little bit more organized, which is exciting. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I've got plenty of room, so I don't need to scrunch it all up for now, so let's just pop it here. I may need to think about it being a bit more efficient space later, but for now, I think that's good. Okay. Fertilizer. Look at this. So now, from any direction, I should be able... In fact, this guy needs some fuel, so let's give it a test. I've just come down from the depot, and I realise, oh my goodness, I need some fuel. Go get me some fuel. Okay, stupid AI, why are you driving that way? Go get me some fuel. Great. Looks like that can go forward a bit more. I actually need some fuel, so let's buy some fuel. Refill the silo. I mean, I don't know how much I need. Let's just get 5,000. Refuel. I have no idea how much is going in. Is this like the majority of this fuel tank? I guess we'll find out. Oh, that was only... oh my goodness, that was like 250 litres. That was hardly any. So that will last a good long time then. And now I can say, hey, I need some herbicide. I might need to bring this a lot further up actually, because it's the trailers that need it, isn't it? Not the actual tractors, so that might be a little bit better. But that's fine, we can tweak that. Excellent. All right, let's just get this water tank out of the way. We don't want the council on our butts for leaving our stuff laying around. I don't think I need a little waypoint for water just yet. I think that's fine for now. We may do in the future, but I think that's okay for now. I better pick up this bit of lettuce as well. and put this trailer somewhere. I really, really don't like this trailer. It's very, very hard to reverse. I think it's hard to reverse because it's got the extra wheels at the front, which kind of makes it a bit kind of double jointed, as it were. And the only reason I haven't rage sold it yet is because the AI doesn't seem to have a problem with it. So if I actually need to do something, I've just been turning the AI on, the computer on, and having the AI do the work, which, based on a premise that this should be an automated playthrough, isn't the end of the world. But at some point, I might think about replacing it or just buying another trailer. Okay, this is, I know it's been a bit of a boring start, but this is an important few jobs done, so I'm pleased that we did it. I'll just get him heading down to sell these. I think it was Saxingham products. Good, so we have storage and drop off and pick up places for all of the main materials that we'll need, at least for now. We might need to think about that again later. We now have a one-way system throughout the map, so it should be a pretty rare occasion now that my own vehicles have head-on collisions. I just need to turn on the traffic again. How did I turn that off? Field info. Where did I turn the traffic off? Traffic on. So yeah, so I think that was a good little admin. So the next job is to figure out some land to buy, isn't it? So we'll do that next. I've got £244,000, so I could afford to buy quite a lot, you know. I shouldn't be scared of buying fields that have things on it now, because I have experienced quite a lot of the different types of contracts, so I should be able to handle anything the game throws at me, with the exception of logging. I still haven't done any logging. Right, so let's think. So 31 is an obvious choice. That's just grass at the moment, so that would be 2 sets of grass. I did do a little bit of reading and learned that I shouldn't just be selling grass like I did last time. I should be turning it into silage. And to do that, I can wrap it in bales, or I can get a silage thing, a silage kind of bunker, I think it was called. So what I want to do very quickly is just check to see if by putting one over here, it would get rid of this fence. No, sadly it doesn't. I really wish I could just delete these fences. It's terribly annoying. But if I could just delete these fences, I'd be able to utilise all this land. But I mean, particularly this fence, it's just literally going from the road across to here. I mean, it's not even stopping anything from happening, which is really quite annoying. I wonder if I can I build a... No, I can't build a road either. Okay, so I don't know what to do with this land still. I just got loads of wood now, which is a bit annoying. Perhaps after I clear it, I'll be able to do a rudimentary pen of some blooming chickens or something, I don't know. So yes, I have this field. This field is joined by separated by a fence as well. So presumably I'm not going to be able to cut that fence down and even join these 2 fields together, which is an awful shame. So this field is up for grabs, which is just another grass field. This and these 2 fields are up for grabs. This one looks quite nice because it's on the corner, so I could build some sort of in and out system, but I can't get rid of these hills, the mounds, so I'm probably not going to be able to get big vehicles in there. And then this is the field with the forest. If I could get an entrance up here, that would be ideal. But again, there's a little mound, and I don't think big equipment's going to get up and down that mound, and I'm not sure that I can kind of flatten it off. What's over this side? If I clear this wood, can I get in this way? It doesn't appear so. What's up here? Goes round there. And that's across the river. No. So same thing here. So this is where am I? So this is the other big field. I mean, this would be great because I could just kind of divide it. I could have all of this area as kind of production, and then keep this field for a bit of farming, or of course vice versa. But I just don't want to access this field. I mean, that's fairly flat across there, isn't it? I might be able to cut all these trees down and create my own access. I mean, that could be a good play. And then this would be almost like an entrance. And then I presume the territory starts here. So I cut those trees down and then do a little bit of flattening. Perhaps that's the shout. And then I've got a big production area here, a nice open way in and out, and then a bit of field behind. Okay, I think this telegraph pole's a bit annoying. That's going to make it annoying for harvesting or whatever. I could just have this as another grass field. So grass, production in that corner, and maybe production, maybe divided by half. So this side of the field is production, that side is just an up and down jobby. And I can then continue. Is that a fence between them? Yeah, god damn it, who does that? This is all fenced. So maybe I just use it all as animal pens. Maybe that's the other option, is that stays as grass just to produce silage. And then this is just a huge cow field, this is a sheep field, and that's a, I don't know, pig field, and then this is, I don't know, something else. Down here is not fenced. So on the back of this field and this field is not fenced. Okay, so I might be able to join them at some point. Okay, so the play is buy this field, potentially buy that field as well, leave this to grass, animals in this field, clearing wood in this field, sawmill, factories, etc., all down here. Depending on what animals I get, the relevant production stuff I need for those animals all down here, a bit more field there, and then expand into this field for big kind of boy harvesting if I need to later. And then expand that way if we need to. Right, we have a plan. We'll just sell these lettuce. I mean, it's going to make me about 6p or something, so it's hardly worth it, but money's money. Okay. There we go. We won't sell these lettuce. There we go. Oh, £1,000. Easy. I don't actually have anywhere to send these now, do I? Right, I'm going to end the day, and then we'll see about some contracts, if there's any new contracts, and then we're going to go on a buying spree, which is going to be great fun. Good morning. Any contracts yet? No. Right, let's buy. I'm going to start 250,000. I'm going to start with this one. How much? I don't even know how much it is. Oh my god! After all that, after all that talking, I can't even afford it anyway. Let's buy that one at least, so I can actually satiate my. Or should I just wait a minute? Let's be patient. I'm just going to do a couple of contracts because I do want to get this one first. Because I need to start clearing this wood, right? So that's going to give me a job to do whilst doing contracts. So let's be a little bit patient. I'll just fast forward some time, and then I'll come back, and we should have some more money. So it's been a hot minute. We were pretty unlucky that we only had one contract arrive all day, and that was a cultivating contract, which is just finished. It's kind of gone nice and quickly, but that is good news though, because it's given us just enough money to buy that piece of land that we were wanting to buy. So we'll go ahead and buy it, and then we can start thinking about what to do with it. So we literally just have £10,000 spare once we buy it. So we're not going to be able to afford to do anything on our nice new land, but at least we've done some expanding. So this is the spot. We just bought field, I've forgotten what number it is, field 32. And the reason for this is because I'm hoping, and I'll find out any second, is that we can expand and take out this woodland. So what I need is some agricultural land, but I also need some land for production. So I'm hoping that this little lay-by here, I can cut a few of these trees down and turn into a road in, and then gradually clear all these trees, and this will be a small production area. I think I'm going to be doing some sheep, and I'm certainly going to be doing lots of grass. So this can be probably some sort of wood production area, because we're going to have so much wood, and also some sort of sheep production area, wool, a spinnery, I think maybe it is. So yeah, so this should give us enough room, at least for the starting game, to kind of start some small production chains. But what I have to hope, and I'm very much hoping, is that those trees down the side of the road I can cut. Because if I can't, then our plans are scuppered, and we'll have to think about something else. So these trees are right along the edge. I've made the assumption that they are part of this land, and same as this hedgerow. So I'm hoping I can cut it all down and then flatten this area, and then basically kind of industrialize this little place and put a big wide open entranceway in, so we don't have to worry about turning circles and things. But it's all going to rely on the next 2 seconds of whether this tree is going to come down. Which way do I want to cut this tree? I think probably this way. So hopefully this doesn't turn red. Yeah! Okay, good. So far so good. It means that we can do something about this entranceway. Okay, hang on, I don't really want to cut that completely just yet, because if it falls into the road, then I'm screwed. Okay, the next test is these hedges. Can I cut these hedges down as well? Do they belong to me? Oh my goodness, I can't even get through them, let alone cut them. Looking good. Okay, so far so good. Potentially, that means that we can do what I was hoping for. Okay, the next little test is, can I make this into... So that's not mine, this is mine. Okay, good so far. How do I make this bigger? That's making it circular. Brush size, N and M. Okay, I'm not too worried about what it looks like at the moment, because I'll fix it up. So how far does my land go? So about there. Okay, this is looking pretty positive. So I think we're going to be in business, people. So this whole area here is basically, I mean, this is going to look pretty terrible until I do something pretty with it. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, this whole area is going to lead into some sort of driveway. All back here. My goodness, it's kind of hard to manage this camera with all these trees around. So let's not make that too ugly. What's farm track look like? That'll do. Okay. So I'm not going to do too much of this now, because this needs a bit more planning. The next thing I need to check is, can I flatten this land a little bit? Slope, soften, raise, lower. Lower is right mouse button. Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe I need to clear it from... Oh, it's going down, look. Okay, maybe I need to clear the trees first. Okay, this is good news. This means I can kind of sculpt this area a little bit. Level. Is this costing money? Oh, it is. I should be careful. I haven't got hardly any money. Okay, I'm excited. So that's worked out really well. So all of this land can be repurposed into production land, and I've now got this big field. I should have checked what's in this field before I bought it, shouldn't I? It looks like it's just mud, so I might need to figure out some sort of what to plant in it, and I guess that will depend on what year it is once I settle my life down. What's this? So this is just farmland. It looks like it's got nothing on it at the moment. Okay, so I need to figure out what to do with this field. The last field was easy because it was just grass, but this is an actual real field. What I might do is I might kind of square it off a little bit so it's just a big long rectangular field, and then I can have all of this area for production perhaps. But I'll figure that out later. So, okay, great. I'm excited. So the next thing to do is I over here, as you know, I've been chopping all this wood down. And all of this wood came from just kind of 3 trees. And I did it all with a chainsaw. And I don't really want to do that again because it's been, to be honest, pretty laborious. So I'm certainly not going to attempt cutting all these trees down with a chainsaw. So therefore I need to get into the kind of the forestry section of the shop and figure out what I need to buy. I'm going to need some sort of tree cutting. I don't mind cutting the tree down by itself, but the actual like maneuvering of the trunk of the main tree and cutting the edges off and moving them around is pretty tiresome because obviously using my hands, I have to cut them up into tiny lumps. So yes, I need to figure out how to chop trees down efficiently and how to move the wood efficiently. And then I think I'm going to have so much wood, it makes sense to kind of get a sawmill or do something with the wood. I've seen a wood chipper in the shop, so maybe I just wood chip it all and sell it perhaps. Or I do a little bit of both. I get a sawmill and a wood chipper, who knows? I don't know how much it all costs, but we'll check that out. But ultimately, I'm now poor again, so I'm going to have to do some more contracts. I'm going to have to figure out how to harvest or grow something in this field, and then I'm going to have to learn about the forestry stuff. But that was good. I'm excited. So the next one is to crack on a little bit, to make some more money again, and then start clearing this area progressively. So I shall speak to you all when that fun starts. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.